Welcome to the 2015-2016 Club 1 volleyball season. My name is Bree Isaacson and I am the director of the program.
And my name is Bridget Hack and I am the business manager. Together we have put together a small informational video to help you through the steps of registering, everything that you need to know for the upcoming season, and we'll put it all together in this little video and hopefully this will be helpful to you. If you have any additional questions, you can always reach us by email, phone, and we will be available at our open house, which will be the day after the tryout.
Practices for our boys will begin September 21st. Practices are always Monday and Wednesday evenings, 6:30 to 9:15. 6:30 to 7:15 is cardio, weight training, things like that, and then 7:15 to 9:15 is the actual practice time. The boys will also have practices on Sundays on weekends that they do not play. So we will put together an exact practice schedule. Once our tournament schedule becomes finalized, we will blast it out to all of you via email as well as post it on our website. But for the time being, practices are Monday night, Wednesday night, and on Sundays. All paperwork must be complete prior to the start of the first practice. So when you commit to our program, if you're watching this video, all paperwork will be available online. That paperwork will come back with you the following day to be turned in at our open house. If any paperwork is missing at that time, we will discuss it with you. We will have some copies, but not many, with us on hand. And then that would be required to come back either before the first practice or on the night of the first practice. Additionally, all USAV memberships must be current. Now, in the past, someone who had a membership from the previous season, so the 2014-2015 season, their membership would not expire until October 31st. Okay, so all of our families from last year, or if you played in another club. What we have said in the past is anybody with a current membership is good until that time. Unfortunately, this year that is not going to be the case. Because tournament hosts require us to have up-to-date rosters prior to the start of their events, we can't wait for October 31st for those families who have a current membership to renew, to then take the time to create the rosters at all the different locations and get that to them in a timely manner. So we are asking this year that all paperwork and USAV memberships are updated prior to the start of the first practice. If it is not updated or if paperwork is missing, your son will not be able to participate until that is taken care of. We will communicate that with you. We will be available to help you to find what you need, but we just need that done sooner than later so we can take care of the things on our end that need to be complete. The USAV membership is $55, but if you paid for the tryout fee, it would be less whatever you paid for that fee. If you have a current membership, you do not have to pay the tryout fee, and you would just immediately update the membership. Players should arrive 15 minutes before practice starts. If your son is going to be late, we ask that they contact their coach directly, let them know prior to them being late. The boys are allowed 3 excused absences. That would be for a family function, a school function, homework, things of that nature. If they exceed that 3, playing time could be affected. The only exception to this rule is multiple sport athletes. And multiple sport athletes we will discuss a little bit later in the video, but there is an exception to that for them. Athletes are required to wear their Club 1 practice t-shirts, shorts, and their volleyball shoes at all practices. We also ask that the boys don't wear their volleyball shoes outside. It gets things in the bottom of their shoe as well as bringing things into our facility. For the time being, when practice shirts aren't available, any athletic shirt will do. Once those shirts come in, then they'll be expected to wear those to all practices. Practices are closed to our families with the exception of the first Monday of the month. And while we have absolutely no problems with our families coming in and checking out what we're doing, we simply do not have the space. And the gym will be a little bit less busy right now because the girls won't have started. But once the girls come in, it gets crazy busy in the gym. We use the outside of the courts for physical testing and training, and there really is no place for our families to sit and watch. So The first Monday of the month, it is always open for you to come in and check out what we're doing. And if you have a specific issue with something, please reach out to us, and you're more than welcome to come in and kind of see what we're doing, and we'll address that issue at that time, but on a regular basis, first Monday of the month.
And for those of you who have been with Club One or who haven't, we have recently updated our lobby. We have a working TV with cable, ESPN, anything you want to watch. We have couches, we have tables where you could stay and do some work. So outside in the lobby area you're welcome to sit around, wait, get some stuff done, and just relax.
Absolutely. So multiple sport athletes, which I touched on a little bit earlier in the video, we encourage our athletes to be involved in multiple things if that's what they choose. The only thing that we ask is that there's good communication with the athlete and the coaches. So if your son is playing a high school sport, basketball, or something that conflicts football that may be in the fall, that high school sport does in fact come first. But what we ask is that you provide the coach a practice schedule as well as a game schedule, and you make every attempt to be there, no matter how big or how small that athlete can be there. So if you have to come early and leave, or come late and leave early, or whatever you need to do, that's absolutely fine. But we just ask that you communicate that so our coaches can plan accordingly. As far as tournaments go, we actually have the boys tournament schedule 15 through 18 about 95% complete at this time. The 14s we are still working on. Once it is complete, it will get blasted out to all of our families, and it will be set for the year, with the exception of last year we did have a cancellation due to some crazy weather. If that should happen, then those tournaments do cancel, but that's very few and far between that we've had that happen. But the schedule will be available shortly. We ask as a rule of thumb that you arrive an hour before you play, 45 minutes before you ref. All athletes must stay till all playing duties and officiating duties are complete. So in club volleyball, unlike middle school volleyball, unlike high school volleyball, you do have officiating responsibilities. It's part of the schedule. And oftentimes if you lose a match in a playoffs, you're going to have to stay and ref the next match. It is the expectation that everybody will stay until that responsibility is complete. We ask that you respect each host site's food policy. There is not a facility that I know of, including ours, that allows outside food in the building on tournament days. So if you don't want to eat what they have to offer, you can certainly eat it outside. You can eat it in your car. But if you bring the food in and someone at the facility sees that you have it, you will most likely be removed. If your son has a specific food allergy that prevents them from eating food that's sold at the facility, please reach out to myself or Bridget, and we can contact them directly to see how they would like to handle. On average, each team will play 2 times per month. Sometimes it works out like that, sometimes it doesn't, but as you're looking to prepare, that's what you can expect. And the rule of thumb is on any single day event where you just play 1 time and there's a champion at the end, they will send out that schedule the Wednesday before the event. So if today is Thursday and you play on Sunday, you will have had the schedule no later than yesterday. But it's important that you know, because we often get emails that come across our desk and say, well, when's the tournament? How do we know when we're going to be there? The reason that tournament host sites don't send it out earlier is because teams often drop at the last minute, and then several revisions have to be emailed out, and it's frustrating for us as club directors, and it's frustrating for you as parents. So as soon as that schedule comes across our desk, it will go out to you guys immediately. But know that you will play on the date listed on the tournament schedule, but the week before, on that Wednesday, that's when you can expect the tournament schedule. After several weeks of practice, we will have team selections. We will place them on teams based on the positions that they play, several different factors that will go into it. We look to give our kids the best opportunity to play whatever team that they are placed onto. Playing time, coaches will determine what position and how long each athlete plays. Playing time is earned through hard work both in practice and in match play. If a athlete or a parent is unhappy with playtime, we ask that the athlete come talk to the coach directly first. That coach gets to see them in the gym all the time. They have the answers for what they need to do to work on to get better and why they're choosing to do what they do. Sometimes it's not necessarily directly related to the athlete as it is for the benefit of the team and different players that are on it. So we are happy to discuss that, but we ask first that the athlete come and discuss with the coach. If after a certain amount of time and several practices and weeks have passed and nothing has been resolved, then myself and the coach and the parent and the athlete can all sit down to try to better resolve the problem. We do have a 24-hour rule in place, and that rule is that we will not have any kind of conversation regarding an unhappy situation, whether it's playtime, wins and losses, rotations, anything like that, for 24 hours after. And the reason that we do that is nothing good comes from somebody who's being upset and in the heat of the moment. Please remember that our coaches dedicate many hours to the teams, and they would never humiliate or embarrass your son. We ask that you respect the coaches as well. We do have a parent expectation section in the contract. We've added one part. I am just going to go over it very quickly with you. You can find it in the 4.0 parent expectation section. But we ask that our parents be respectful of the club coaches and players, to demonstrate good sportsmanship at tournaments, at practices, to not only Club 1 players and families, but other teams, coaches, and officials as well, to support the development of each player and each team. And we also have a section which was not in there previously about bad mouthing and slanderous remarks about Club 1, its coaches, or organization. And if that happens, immediate termination will take place with no refund. So we are always available to our families to come and discuss if there's a problem. We just ask that everybody goes about it the right way. Mid-season evaluations, this is something that we do on both our boys and our girls side. For the boys, it happens kind of at the end of November, beginning of December. And what it is, it's a form that every athlete gets, and it breaks down the skills of passing, setting, defense, attacking, serving. And then there's an attitude section, something that your son does great and something that they need to work on. That will be filled out for every athlete in our gym. We will send an email extending an offer to our families to come in and sit with your son as well as the coach to kind of go over the eval form. It will last about 5 minutes. It's not real long, but it's good for our athletes to kind of know where they stand, what they need to continue to work on, and good for our families to know that as well. That would be a good opportunity if you have a question about rotations or you have a question why this happens. That would be a great opportunity to ask it, and our coaches would be more than happy to answer it. If you choose not to come to the meeting, then that meeting will be had with your son and the coach directly, and the form will go home. So if you'd prefer just to ask them what was said and take a look at the form, that's absolutely fine as well. As far as travel goes for our boys, we only go to one travel event, which is St. Louis. It's the St. Louis qualifier, and it happens to be the weekend of February 13th through the 15th. So when we go to this travel event, athletes will stay with their parents. And they will do team things, hopefully team meals while they're there together, but they'll stay with their parents. This event is a stay-to-play tournament. And what that means is USA Volleyball dictates where we get to stay. So we do not get to just pick a random hotel or our families and just stay there, because there has to be a head count per team to meet the requirement for USA Volleyball at the hotel that they pick for us. So once we get that information from USA Volleyball, we will send out a travel letter, and it will have specific details on how to book your room for the event. Bless you. Couple other things that I have quickly are website information. We do post a lot of things on our website. We might put results up there, tournament information. If we did have a situation with very severe weather, we would put cancellations up there. We also put team successes up there. So we ask that you check the website often, as well as our Facebook page, and we also have an Instagram page. So we will blast that out. We also have an online system where we can blast out emails, and if something changes or we need to get information out, we will do that. But those are some great places that you can check. And also at Club 1, not so much during practice times, but if we host a tournament we do have limited parking. So we have the parking in front of the building when our building faces 143rd Street. We have the parking directly in front. We also have parking on the side where there's 2 garages. You can park in any of those spots as well. You can park on Coil Plus Drive, which is the street that runs behind the club. And you can also park in the Public's Work building, which is across the street. We cannot park in the bounce up section or any of those additional buildings that extend, into the next building set next to our club. So just make sure you don't park there. They can tow you if you are there. But like I said, anything in front, the side, Coil Plus Drive, or over in the Public's Work building. All right, I'm going to hand it over to Bridget now. She's going to talk financials and we'll get it wrapped up.
Okay, so this year we have not raised any of our tuition rates or travel for the boys. So it's a little bit different for the 14s just because they do not travel. They don't have that aspect to it. The 15s through 18s pricing is $12.95 for the season with the $175 for the travel event, and our 14s is $9.95. Those are the 2 costs. Uniform this year is a little bit different in the sense that you will not be doing uniform payments through Club One anymore. This year we are going with Nike, and we're really, really excited about that. And they've put together a really great uniform package for us. And the cost of our uniform this year is $360. In that package, you're going to be getting your 2 custom jerseys. You'll be getting shorts. You'll get a long sleeve hitting practice t-shirt. You're going to be getting a jacket and pants. You're going to be getting 3 pairs of socks, so a 3-pack of socks. You get your shoes and your backpack. The way it'll work with the uniform this year is you're going to be ordering directly through them, paying directly to them, and they will ship the uniform to you directly. So when we talk about fees, when I go on just a little bit, uniform as in the past, which we've collected, we will no longer be collecting.
And one thing about the uniform that's important to remember, and this is something that Bridget and I kind of dealt with in the past, is we know everyone's busy and we are going to get samples. We're hopeful that they'll be there at our open house. If not, as soon as we get them, we would blast it out. But if we have people who haven't sized in the past and we couldn't get in that uniform sheet to our vendor, it really delayed the process. So while this time it's going to be great because our families are going to do it individually, please make sure you get that done as soon as possible, because if we play our first tournament and you don't have your uniform yet, then your son would not be able to play. So pay close attention to those deadlines.
And they will be sending us an information sheet that we will get out to you with the site that you need to go to, how you go about ordering everything. Just in talking to them, they do make it a very easy process, so it will be very simple for you guys to do. But like Bree said, please just pay attention to those deadlines. Those are very important, and I'm not sure how diligent they would be to remind you, so it's important that we do that. Going back to the tuition, the $9.95 for the 14s, and then the $12.95 plus the $175 for the 15s through 18s. At the parent meeting, we will, as we have done in the past, collect the 25%, and it's 25% of travel and tuition combined for the older kids. When we send out all the paperwork, or when the paperwork is posted online, it's very specific what is due and what is owed. So we hope that will help you, so that there's not any surprises or anything when you come into the open house the next day. 25% would be due on the parent open house. We then offer 3 additional payments: October 1st, November 1st, and December 1st. We have a new system this year, which everybody registered in this year, which is different from last year. So I just want to make sure that everybody's aware of the few things that are different this year than last year with that system. We, as in the past, do charge a fee if you break up those payments. The payment would be a $30 fee for every additional installment payment, and with this system, 2.9% finance charge plus a $1 fee is added to all credit card transactions. So if you broke it into 3 payments, please know that each time that 2.9% plus $1 plus the $30 administrative fee will apply. With paying in full, if you were to pay it in full, it would just be done that one time in the initial payment. If you pay by check, those fees do not apply. Those are just credit card fees, but the $30 monthly fee does apply because we incur costs for different systems that we use. We also will allow you to make the deposit on the first day, which is that parent meeting. If you pay the balance in full by October 1st, the $30 fee would not apply. So if you want to pay your down payment and then pay the balance on October 1st, you would not incur that fee.
And in addition to the 25%, they also have to pay uniform.
Right, and then the uniform, and you'll be paying that directly to them, but that will be due as soon as that paperwork comes out. That's when the payment will be due so that we can get those all ordered and in. Sibling discounts, we do offer that. You may have a son in the program and then a daughter that plays later. The sibling discount is 10% of tuition on the youngest player, typically is how that works. So if you decide to pay in full for your son now, but you do have a daughter later on, I will take the 10% of their tuition and apply it to your daughter's account. So you would not miss out on that if you have a daughter and a son. So that's how the payments work. When you get the paperwork, everything is written down and outlined on our financial agreement. So of course, if there's any questions, once you read through that, you can always let me know, and I'm happy to talk to you more in depth with any questions that you may have. One way that we offset costs, people ask all the time, is we offer a fundraiser, and our fundraiser has been super successful in the past. And the way that we run it, and we'll be doing the same thing again this year, is each family is required to sell 10 raffle tickets at $10 a piece, or $100. After the first 10 tickets are sold, anything over that is 100% credited back to your account. So if you sell 500 tickets, $400 would be credited to your account. If you've paid in full, then a refund check at the conclusion of the raffle will be sent to you. Now, we can't do any disbursements on refunds until the raffle's drawn, the correct paperwork is filed with the IRS, all those kinds of things, because it's a fundraiser. But typically, mid to end of January, you would receive a refund check. If you have a balance on your account, anything over would automatically be applied to your account. We've had many people use it in the past, and it really, really is helpful. We also know that sometimes people don't want to participate in the raffle. And if you do not, we do give you the option of opting out. And when you opt out, it's a one-time $75 fee, which we collect at the parent meeting. You will not get tickets. You will not be responsible. You would just be opted out of that raffle. So that is one of the another option that you have. We do at times offer additional fundraisers throughout the year. It does depend on what's offered to us and if we think it's beneficial to the families. And if those do become available, we will absolutely present those to everybody, but please know that anything, it would be optional. That is the financial portion and the uniform and the fundraising. What I'd like to do now is just take one more minute to explain what you can expect the night of the tryout and the next day. The boys will come in on Tuesday for the tryout. We will then post online the numbers. You'll already know this because you're probably watching the video. And what we will have, all the paperwork is online. We're asking that everybody print the packet and fill out the appropriate paperwork. On Wednesday, September 9th, we will have from 5 to 7:30 an open house at Club 1. At that time, you will bring in the completed paperwork. You'll bring in the proof of the USAV membership, if that is done, and you'll also bring in the deposit amount. We do keep a credit card on file, and then that payment, those payments would be run automatically. And if you would like to pay by check, you would bring in the checks. And if you want to pay for the months, you can write post-dated checks so you don't have to worry about sending them off. Payment would be collected. If we have the uniform samples, uniform try-on would be at that time, and an information sheet would be handed on how you go about ordering your uniform.
And we'll be sure to let you know if we have the samples. So we would send a blast out to let our families know whether or not you need to try to bring your son with or not. And another thing that's very important is we'll post the numbers online, and then we'll have a step-by-step of what to do. But the first thing on our step-by-step is always to email Bridget Hack your commitment. And why this is important is she will then slide you guys onto Teams, and you'll start to get emails specific to the club. But we also in the past have had a wait list, and we've had to, tell players that just based on numbers, we don't have a spot. But if the deadline comes, which will be noon the following day on Wednesday, so the boys will try out on Tuesday, the numbers will get posted right after the tryout, and then we have until noon the following day on Wednesday to just email Bridget an email and say, my son is committing to the team. That's all that needs to be said. After 12 o'clock on Wednesday, we will reach out to the other families that we have waitlisted if there are positions. And the only reason this is important is we've run into it in the past where people haven't emailed and then showed up, at the parent meeting, and it's an honest mistake, but we can't end up with too many kids on each team. So it's very important you get that email out immediately, and then we can kind of work with the rest from there.
And working off of that, if for whatever reason you go home, your son's number is selected, you discuss it, and you decide that you're not going to commit to the program, if you could shoot the email either way and saying thank you, but we won't be committing, we can then reach out to those people on the wait list as well.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's it. And you know what? All this information is also found in our handbook, which will be placed online. We used to print copies of it and hand it out to our families, but there was so much paper, and so many of our families have been with us, and the information doesn't change all that much. So what we've done now is we'll post it on the website. You'll be able to access it there. Should you want to print it, you are more than welcome to do so. And you can kind of read through that too. Maybe if there was some part that Bridget or myself wasn't clear on, you can take a peek. And also, we're always available, so shoot us an email, leave a voice message, and we'll try to get back to you with any information or any questions that you might have. We're really excited about this club season. We can't wait to get started, and we look forward to seeing all of you very soon.
Thank you.